Welcome to Better Business Building, where I'm your host, admirable, where I talk to business leaders from all shapes of life about what's worked for them and how they can help you win. Yeah, cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Ilija. A long time in the making and
How many years now?
Oh, yeah, see, we'll get into that. So a little bit of a disclaimer for people. We do apparently know each other. Some people may refer to us as friends.
Some.
Others,
yes, deeper than that.
So
I thought we were exclusive. This is a bit heartbreaking.
For people outside of our friendship circle,
yes.
Ilija Sumracki, tell us a little bit more about what you do and maybe what you've built and what you're doing now, and then we'll get into maybe how you got there and why it was revolutionary at the time. But just tell us what you're doing right now.
Awesome. All right. So yes, here we are in our, I guess, first and flagship store on King William Road. I am the founder and creator of Nutrition Republic. And I guess to make it simple, we're a health cafe, but we obviously have a lot of purpose and a lot of vision for the world. And we pride ourselves on being truly healthy. And for us, that means using real ingredients, no preservatives, no chemicals, just the real stuff that we should be putting in our bodies, all the way from coffee, the milks we use, the vegetables, all the ingredients. And yeah, just providing people with a really, truly healthy option that's really like fast and fresh and affordable, because it's hard to get good, healthy food on the go. And that's the purpose and what we want to offer the world here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But so that's all well and good for where you are now. And
yes.
Maybe tell us a little bit about the size. So now you've got 2 locations. How many people work there?
Perfect. Yes. So we've got 2 locations currently here at King William Road in Hyde Park in Adelaide. And our other location is at Plant 4 Bowden, which is a new development. And that's where our head kitchen is that manufactures everything. So we make everything in-house. We've got 2 locations and about 15 staff between the 2 locations. And yeah, we scaled back to 2 locations after having 4 pre and during COVID. So that's been a journey in itself.
Yeah. So what did that, so before I get into, we'll just cover up on that first. So yep. You had 4 stores.
Yes.
What was that like? How many people worked for you? What did it feel like knowing that what you'd built suddenly became that?
It's quite surreal, to be honest. We always had the vision and the drive, but when it got to that point, you almost don't realize it, that it's growing that fast as it's growing, because you're in it. You're doing what you can to scale, to grow, to push, to fix problems as they come up, to innovate of how to make things work. We had to develop systems as we were growing that we didn't even know we needed, because we were fresh into business.
Yeah.
So at that time, we had the 4 locations, 1 at Glenelg, 1 at Flinders University. We had about 37 staff. We had almost a full-time driver. I was managing 4 managers at the time. It was full on, and that was at the peak of our revenue and turnover, and probably like the height of our business. We were super busy.
So just on that.
Yeah.
So you and I did go to Fast Movers the other week.
Correct.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Did you not place in the final 3 in 2017 yourself?
We absolutely did. So that came as a bit of a surprise. We were approached by BDO. They said, hey, we really like your brand and what you've created. We have this really cool program called Fast Movers, showcasing, growing businesses in South Australia. Would you like to be interested? And I was like, yeah, cool. Like at that time, we were so busy. I was almost like, okay, I'm super busy, but yeah, why not? Went through the whole audit process. That was really interesting. And they asked a lot of really cool questions that got me thinking about my business in a different way. And then from there, we just went in through the process. We were notified a couple of weeks later that we made the top 25. And then they asked a few other questions, got us to prepare some information about our business. And I literally had no idea or thought that we might even place, because I'm like, we're a cafe. Like,
yeah. So
we have had growth, but I'm sure there's other businesses growing more.
Yeah. Well, the other people's comparable businesses, like it's not via industry sector, is it?
Correct. So, it's all industry.
Yeah. Okay.
So we approached that award ceremony. We invited a couple of our regular customers and family and friends. We're sitting there, we're watching, the people sort of get called out from the bottom 25 to the top. And all of a sudden they announce, they get to the top 10 and we still haven't been announced. I'm like, all right, we made the top 10. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So that alone would have been
Amazing.
Yeah.
Already we were like
Yeah.
stoked.
Yeah.
And they announced that, the bottom 5, we still hadn't been announced.
Mhm.
And they announced the last, the 4th and 5th place, and it still wasn't us. So then I was like, you're kidding me. Like I was literally shocked. And even our whole table was really impressed. And then to be called out 3rd place next to a construction company and a transport company was an unbelievable feeling. And
that's a lot of coffees and a lot of organic food.
it is. And to put in perspective, our average sale per customer at that time was about $15-20 per customer.
Yeah, I estimated at the time around 17.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's a lot of transactions to not only hit some top revenues, but also to continually grow. And yes, we grew from the 1st to the 2nd and the 3rd and the 4th stores. But with that, we also diluted our customer base because customers that were all coming here then slowly dissolved. Some went to Glenelg, some went to Bowden, some went to Flinders. So it wasn't like multiplying every time we opened a location, but it's a lot of transactions. And look, on busy days, we were doing, 350 plus transactions a day. That's someone on the till full time. Our record, I think, was like 61 or 63 transaction in a minute.
Yeah.
So that's like a coffee every minute. We were busy. We had lineups out the door, people waiting outside. We really were an attraction. And at that time, like, I don't think I really valued it enough.
I did, but maybe you didn't.
I didn't see it from the outside in because I was in it. I'm like, awesome, we're busy. We're doing good things for the people. We're offering healthy food. Let's go. Let's make the most of it. Let's keep offering this good stuff that we're doing. Looking back now, I'm like, that was a lot.
Okay, so from the highest of highs,
yes,
you got there. But tell us from ideation, how did you get there? So you were laying in bed in 2010, 2009. We might have just gone to the gym. And you thought, okay, I'm seeing a gap in the market.
Correct.
I'm seeing that no one's really pushing what's truly healthy. Maybe some are on the face value, but I would like to do it different.
Yes.
What did that look like? Because the first ideation at the shop right there, that was not what we see now.
Correct.
So what was that process look like? You're just like, hey, look, I'm going to open a retail cafe and I'm just going to do this. Right. What was your thought process?
It's a bit of a scary journey, to be honest. So when we opened Nutrition Republic in 2012, it was first a retail store offering really high quality and what I understood to be the best of the best in supplements, sports supplements, sports nutrition, meaning proteins, creatines, that kind of stuff. And I worked in that industry for about 5 years and was actually no longer, was involved in that industry for over 10 years. And prior to that, I had been I'm still working on it, Adam. Give me a break. Some of us are trying. But I was, I was in the gym from the age of 19, lost a bunch of weight. I've got the fat story. I was 130 kilos, unhealthy, smoking, drinking, partying. Felt really shit about myself. And then through some, experiences, got my shit into gear, lost a lot of weight in the year and was always into bodybuilding. I went down that path for many years, loved it. It made me fit, healthy and strong, but it didn't make me truly healthy. Yeah. Because I was pumping a lot of processed foods, a lot of supplements. So at the end of that journey, as I was working in that industry, I could see that there wasn't a retail store that was really focusing on top-notch quality products and combining really good vitamins and a few superfoods. So we're like, okay, let's open a retail store. We open it up. Things start going okay, but it's not ticking along. At that time, the whole online business selling was really popular. Yeah. And we found a lot of customers buying online because it was cheaper or coming in for us, getting all the education and then buying online anyway. Yeah. So we weren't really growing. At the same time, I was going through a bit of a personal transformative, I guess, situation.
Awakening?
Yeah, legit, Around that time, I had been working from very young, go, not really focusing on the internal spiritual kind of self. And around that time, I don't know what triggered me, but I just changed the way I think, changed the way I started thinking, looking at the world. I remember watching some documentaries, having some conversations with people, and just finally having some time quiet in my mind to think and observe the world. And I started questioning everything very, very deeply. And around that time as well, I was still training really hard, pumping a lot of supplements. And if I'm completely honest, I wasn't really that healthy.
Mhm.
Once I guess opened up spiritually, I saw all the craziness going on in the world and actually got me really down. So I went down through a bit of a negative spiral. I'm like, what's the point? Why am I doing this? Everyone's pumping themselves full of, crap, eating shit, training just to look good. There was no essence to like life.
Yeah.
I went on this spiral, crashed. I was really depressed for a while. I was like, what have I done? Really unhappy about my life and my work and what I put into my body. And I don't know if because of that, my body changed, but everything that I was taking had started having a really negative effect.
Okay.
To the point, I don't know if I've shared this story with you.
Let's hear it for the people.
And I haven't shared this story with a lot of people, but I was training at the gym one night and literally from not only getting dizzy earlier and, for days and weeks before that, starting to kind of get disorientated, but losing my breath to the point where at the gym I passed out.
Yeah.
Right. Got up again, passed out again. Rushed to the hospital. They did all these kinds of scans. They're like, listen, there's not anything wrong with you, but you've got a severe lung infection. Your liver is like really toxic and your blood pressure is like extremely low. So for me, that comes to like overloading on supplements, pushing the training way too much, eating a lot of crap and eating too much. So the liver was completely done. Like too many supplements, too much food. Obviously stress and kind of like depression from like, what's the point of life?
Yeah.
And then being sick and not paying attention to it. But then I think all those like NO supplements, like just ruining my blood pressure. So that was a scary moment. And then from there, having the business, being in this situation, I'm like, I've got this completely wrong. That then got me onto the path of really diving deep into health, nutrition. I cut out all the supplements. I cut out all the food that I was eating. I went back to natural, organic. And then from there started learning about the deeper aspects of nutrition, organic food, removing chemicals, whole foods, the way things are grown, animals that eat proper, ingredients so that they don't affect us or affect us in a positive, all that kind of stuff. And then because I changed so quickly in what I was consuming, I'm like, I can't find this stuff anywhere. And I'm like, if I've had this realization or if I've had this experience, I'm sure other people might have already or will or come to that point and they'll need some food. And then from there, I started observing business a little bit more open-mindedly. And I'm like, mate, we can do this, and started getting really, really creative. And I spoke to my team at the time, like, guys, we've got an opportunity here. No one's doing really good, healthy food on the go for people that are busy, working, whatever. That's truly correct. Conscious, that's truly healthy. And overnight, we transformed the business. It was a bit of a hard conversation and, to convince my team at the time. But I basically said, no, we've got to do it. So I took my last bit of my savings, bought a blender, bought a coffee machine, put a tiny little menu on. And overnight, everything just started transforming. We can talk about more of that.
No. So, all right. So just
that's the long version of
for the listeners timeline.
Yes.
When was that?
2012, we started the business, and around that same year, or 12, 13, is when it evolved and transformed.
Okay. So what did that then look like, and how did it get to the menu that you have today? So walk us through. So you translated from ultimate elite supplements and stuff like that, which was plant-based, grass-fed, all of that stuff. And then you were like, okay.
We transitioned.
And then the next minute you've got date smoothies. Like walk us through that.
It was literally like an overnight thing, and it was it was really quick. Like we sold through some of the stock, we stopped ordering, and we started getting in all this new stuff. Like we were the first people to do some like specialty chocolates, and teas and drinks and cereals and like selling raw cakes. Probably the innovators here and like the people really doing it in a creative but like also like a fun and stylish way. Because before that, health food was really boring and bland, and people
went to a gluten-free place, you'd want to not go there ever again.
Correct. So we're like,
you'd ask them to pay you to go.
Correct. I remember thinking, how can we make it
fun
and sexy and like attractive? How can we create a brand or something that looks and feels cool and modern and stylish that people want to associate with, and then say, hey, I'm healthy, and I'm cool,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm stylish or I'm trendy, that kind of stuff.
So, okay, good point.
Yes.
So we'll go there.
All right.
Do you think that a large part, because so for people that don't know, everything that you did to grow this business was organic and via owned channels. So you did your own media, you did your own Facebook, you did your own Instagram, you didn't use paid and push ads.
Nothing. Super organic.
So was that at the exact right time, right place when Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook was growing?
Correct.
Suddenly you had this cool, savvy concept, Republic, do this, I'm like part of this cult coolness.
Yes.
And it all just went from there.
Literally.
Yeah.
Spot on. And, you know, timing was a very, very important factor. We were very, very lucky. And I think, look, not knowing that back then was maybe like a good and a bad thing. Knowing now how important timing is in execution and when you actually roll something out is priceless. So we launched around the time Instagram launched.
Yeah.
Right. And we got it straight away. Luckily, our team was aware of it. We were all young and savvy, like, hey, this could be used for business.
Yeah.
So we were like one of the first cafes to really start posting regularly and creatively. And I commend my team at the time for seeing that and doing that, to the point where we had people, we were marketing basically info and ideas about what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And we would get people coming in
and asking
saying, hey, I've just seen this on Instagram. Can I order this? And we're like, we haven't even launched this yet. Like, okay, this is powerful.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
So you basically created social media marketing.
No, we were actually asked to speak at a council kind of workshop for small businesses, and what we did, because we were so successful.
Yeah, I believe it.
And it was, and we were learning as it was evolving too.
Yeah.
So you know, you've just made me realize at that time we were innovating products, innovating marketing, innovating systems, thinking about scaling. Like, there was so much going on. I look back now and I'm like, how did we do it?
Man, you can swear, man. This is our show. But so on that,
yes,
because there was a lot of accolades along the way through this growth.
Yes.
Suddenly you were absolutely everywhere. Even nationally, people were talking about what you were doing. And maybe in the Eastern States, people tried to copy you. They came and went. They tried to do it the wrong way. But you've prided yourself in doing it the right way through the whole journey. Is that part of why you think you've had longevity?
100%. I believe, you know, our core values and what we stood for, and our integrity for the product, the vision, and what we want to give to the world was so real and so important and so embedded in everything we did from the very start that people could sense it, people could feel it. And we always can in business when something's super authentic.
Yeah.
And then from there, no matter if anybody up the road, across the road, which happened, down the road, opened, people could still feel it's like, no, this isn't NR. This is not as pure as what NR is. Even interstate, people would come here and say, oh, there's a cafe like this or a place like this in my city, but they're just not as real as you. And for me, that was constant affirmation that people truly wanted something real. And I think it's also the reason why we're still here.
Yeah. I believe that too. And so probably the next question that I had would be, while you were getting some of these accolades, other places are obviously asking you how you did it. Do you see that maybe in the future people want a blueprint from you
Absolutely.
of how you did that, how you can help hospitality, how you can help restaurateurs? If you look at some of the insights that you've had over this duration of the 12 plus years, people would be silly not to pick your brain about that, right?
Absolutely. And we did. I had people, you know, whether they were younger or older, you know, reaching out for coffees, for catch-ups, asking lots of questions. Even I remember so many times people would walk in and I knew they were from another business or somewhere, and they would just observe and look and stare. And I've seen products that we designed, invented in other places. It's going to happen. But in terms of what we learned, it's invaluable. And I truly believe hospitality is one of the not only hardest, but most detailed and most complex businesses to get involved in. Right? You've got so many moving parts. You've got systems, procedures, and then you're dealing with a product that is so variable. Being a natural product, you've got time as a factor. You've got variability in how it's grown to how it's processed, produced. You don't have that in other businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had to focus on all these little details that I never thought I'd have to think about. And now when I look at other businesses, I'm like, mate,
Yeah,
easy.
wrong.
This is wrong.
Similar to what I do when I
Correct.
tell you, I've seen this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or think about this, and anyone in hospitality deserves, an accolade because it's so hard. And then you're dealing with a customer that is super needy. They can't. People go to cafes and restaurants to be looked after, so they walk in here with like, feed me, look after me, nourish me, love me, give me attention, remember my name, remember my order, all this stuff. So the expectations are huge.
Yeah.
And it forces you to focus on service, quality, all these things that other businesses obviously are important to. But here it's happening not only at such a deep and high level, but it's constant. Like I said, 60 people can walk through in 1 minute. In 1 hour.
Yes.
60 people. And you've got to give all those people an individual service. So it forces you to like look at different aspects of customer service.
So you're an experienced dealer.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right. Well, hey, so given the amount of stuff that you've done here with building this brand, just so people are aware in terms of timeline and product, could you maybe walk us through some of the stuff that's still maybe not even seen properly in the eastern states now that maybe you started with? So like what were the smoothies and what made them popular, and
correct.
Like what were the staple pieces that people would know to become what Nutrition Republic is at the core?
Perfect. So it's definitely like our raw desserts, and the fact that we are completely gluten-free, refined sugar-free. Our food is dairy-free. We have our protein smoothies, which are all very unique, encompassing not only good proteins, clean milks, a lot of superfoods and ingredients with a lot of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that you don't get from a lot of places. We try to balance them to provide a balanced approach of nutrition and get all your macros. So that's really important. I think our coconut water smoothies are quite unique. For hydration, electrolytes, plus getting your fruit and your greens. We don't do one thing that we do that's very unique is that we don't do fresh juices. And the reason was we thought, okay, infrastructure wise, it's complex. To scale, it's complex. There's a lot of wastage. Like, juices have their place and they're really important to get certain, nutrients out of them. But there's nothing wrong with consuming the whole fruit, and a lot of us don't have time to munch through and chew our fruit, even though that's super important. And we should eat all our food. I get it. Life's busy. And that's why we did our smoothies the way they are. Whole fruits, whole vegetables, blended with coconut water. So those two were probably like, those three and the raw desserts were at the core. And then from there, we innovated our smoothie bowls. And I think we were probably some of the first people to do them. And a funny story, that actually came about by me making my smoothies so thick because I put so many ingredients in there that we started. I think my team, I don't know who it was. If they're watching, like if someone can remember who coined it, but they started calling it the sludge. Or maybe I did. And I'm like, we should put the sludge on the menu. And everyone was like, yes. And I would call it the sludge, but no one wanted to do that because it sounds gross. And then from there, I started adding like granola on top. So we had this beautiful forage cereal granola. And I'd mix it up and I'm like, this is awesome. Like we could serve this. And I actually remember, I had two of my friends and customers regular coming in and I said to them, what's that?
It's just a graphic.
I remember saying to them, hey, I'm thinking of something new. Do you want to try it? And I remember when they both tried it, they had this like, literally, I didn't even know it was called smoothie bowl at the time. They had like a little bowl with the thick protein mixture with granola on top. And they were just eating it like, what the hell is, and I was like, okay, we're onto something. And that's actually another important thing that we do. In all our smoothie bowls, there's a plant-based protein because again, the focus here is nutrition. We want people to get all the essential macros that they need. So they're not just full of sugar or processed ingredients. There's no sugar. It's protein-based, banana-based, cacao or peanut butter.
So it's not just acai bowls, bro?
No, exactly. Not at all. We've only got like 2 bowls with acai. The rest are all very unique. So I can rant about this all the time.
That's okay. All right. So I've got a bit of a lever question and I've got like a little bit of a question for the listeners. Now,
what's a lever question?
I just need to lean into something here.
Okay. I'm new at this.
Is it true that your mum had a big involvement in making quinoa slices.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is probably one of my favorite stories. So my mum, love her to bits, is super passionate about food, and I think that's where I get it from too. And it's deeply rooted in our culture. She could see what we were working on in the business, and she also saw my, personal health transformation through the gym, and she would always be very curious. And then as I was learning about foods, getting carbs and nutrients from different things, I thought, okay, how can I make something that's, packed full of protein, good carbs and veggies in a nice savory slice that I can just eat on the go if I'm working, if I'm busy, that I don't have to worry about putting together myself. So I thought, all right, what's one of my favorite carbs being quinoa. I love eggs. I love veggies. I'm like, how can we get this all together? So I said to my mum, hey, got this idea. Can you whip something up? And I gave her the foundation, the philosophy and the direction. And she was like, ticking. She's like, leave it with me. And then like within a week, she tried all these different, ratios and recipes and ingredients. And then she finally came out with this like baked, kind of like, savory, thick slice full of egg and quinoa and veggies. And she's like, here we go. And like we cut it up. I remember the first time I had it, I was like, awesome.
This is it.
Yeah. And that was the first savory item we put on the menu. And everyone was like, what the?
That's why I asked that question. Now, so given the success of those quinoa slices, how much royalties do you owe your mother?
You know what? One day I'll do an audit. It'll be a lot. We sell through so much. And at one point, so as we were evolving as a business from retail to hospital or a cafe, we didn't have ovens. We didn't have anywhere to cook this stuff.
So you were still like a retail outlet.
Retail
right?
with food and a coffee machine. And I remember people coming and going,
what's going on here?
What's going on?
How are you doing this?
What? What? And like they were a part of our journey as well, which was really exciting. But my mum used to cook the quinoa slices at home. And I used to pick them up every morning, 6 a.m., drive them down here, fresh in the cabinet. And like every night or every day, at the end of the day, I'd call her up and I'd be like, all right, mum, I need 4 trays, 5 trays. And we got to the point where she was like doing multiple rounds, using her kitchen in the shed, her oven in the shed. And like even she couldn't keep up, and then eventually as we grew and got more money, we got ovens in and we started doing them nowadays. But that was also with my team, like that was also something we did as well. Like we prepared a lot of the stuff at home after hours. So we
had the commercial kitchen in Bowden, right? Yeah, okay. All right, well, hey, whoa, what a story. So given the success of everything you've done here and you've innovated within the smoothies, the smoothie bowls, the slices, the raw cakes, and still you're doing it different, better, with more quality ingredients without dicing on the margin by skimping on that.
100%.
And what a lot of maybe copycats are at market.
Yes.
What do you see is next for Ilija Sumracki?
For me personally, or
like where do you want to take things? Have you got like ideas without giving away your secret sauce? But like, have you got some ideas of where you want to take it next, given the amount of innovation you've done so far?
Perfect, definitely. Look, I'm always dreaming. I think that's part of my nature, is always seeing what's possible, what's next, what the future is. I see a beautiful trend in fitness overall, where people are slowly starting to look more at their health and the deeper essence of health, rather than just getting big or getting ripped or getting jacked like we used to back in the day. And I think
it's alleged.
It's a we can some of us are still trying.
Oh wow, yes.
But I see that evolving, and people are going to be becoming more and more conscious of the ingredients, the source, where they come from, what's really in there, and how it affects our body, how it makes us feel. Because everyone on a health journey goes from changing the way they look and then it affecting the way they feel. And then constantly we want to improve or evolve that. And as we get older, we realize and we value health in a very different way, So, I mean, I know we're super young, we're still in our 20s, we've still got a lot.
As you can see here.
Not at all. But yeah, we were in our 20s. You're not that aware of, getting older and what that's going to affect in your body. You hit your 30s, maybe later, and you start thinking, okay, I need to start looking after myself. So, the industry now in health is so big. And we picked this before, there are so many gyms, types of fitness offerings, modalities, and everyone is becoming more and more conscious of why it's important to be fit and healthy. And I think as a result of that, food will elevate as well, and people will start questioning the depths of ingredients and what's in it. And for me, I want to be prepared for that. So I want to be available and accessible more in more places, more locations. So the vision is to have, a version of this that's even more scalable and efficient and affordable for people, and also continue to innovate with our products, which we haven't done for a little while because of the last 3-4 years of the COVID situation. But there's a lot of ingredients that we wanted to use at the beginning, that people weren't ready for, that are now becoming aware of, things to do with gut health, mushroom extracts and, adaptogenic ingredients that, help the brain and the nervous system and everything work in a very optimal way. So a lot of things to come.
So with everything that's going on in the world right now,
yes,
you would say, given your background in this and where you can see things going, because you're probably 12, 15 years ahead before, you would then be well positioned to be in the prime position to, when people start really questioning about what's true health, you'll then be able to give that to them.
100%. And I feel like we did that from the start, correct? And we were probably still ahead of the game.
Yeah, that's what I think.
And our audience took time to grow and understand what we were offering. And it took a lot of education. So a lot of conversations one-to-one to all of our customers, a lot of, social media kind of descriptive kind of posts about the ingredients while we do what we do. And part of our, mission was always to educate and inspire people. And that's still something that I haven't even started because we got so busy growing and scaling, but that's going to be a big part of what we do as well. Online education, person education, because I think it's so important. Like, we have this one life. We're not here for a long time. We've got this, beautiful, vessel and physical being. Like, why not give it the best possible ingredients in life and have just an amazing life with good people doing great things? That's the essence of what I want people to understand. So
Amazing, man. I couldn't have said it better. So Ilija Sumracki, if people and the audience have loved what you've said as much as what I do each and every day listening to you,
you don't say that when we're offline, Adam.
Who wouldn't? How can they get into contact with you? Would some of what you're doing also be helpful to workplaces to look at this for catering, special events, if they're really getting into, like, maybe they've got funds for healthy stuff or slush funds for employee benefits around health?
Beautiful.
You'd be the right man to talk to.
Absolutely.
And where do they do that?
Look, recently I've started my LinkedIn journey thanks to an incredible ambassador of social media and marketing online, Adam. So I've got like an average LinkedIn profile. You can find me there. Definitely on all the socials. Follow us on Instagram at Nutrition Republic. Same with Facebook. Find my details online. Give me a call or message if you want to, ask about any of the things that you mentioned. And it's true. Like, part of actually one of our ideas in the beginning was to go out to workplaces and offer some catering, in their team building environments, and then offer, a 5 to 10 minute chat about the importance of health food and how it can help with productivity. Because whether you like it or not, the food that we eat affects how we feel, our bodies, our minds, and ultimately our performance. I couldn't do what I did, to grow the business, if it wasn't for healthy foundations. So and we're always open to discussing ideas about how we can work together. Definitely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for finally coming on the podcast.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me and believing in me and being by my side for a very long time. I remember, when we first started, I guess I was like so involved in the business, I couldn't see out, but I remember your energy and your perspective of the things that, I was talking about was so positive, and you could really see the vision and what we were trying to create here. So thank you for that.
Look, I've sent you many annoying messages when I was also overseas telling you how well you've done. But maybe now, outside looking in, and this little review has maybe made you look at exactly how much you've accomplished to this point and where you can take it next.
Love that.
Thanks so much for coming on, man.
Much love.
This guy. Boom. Thanks for listening. If you, like me, have received great value from my guest, please like, share, and follow. See you next time.